So, welcome everybody to the Premier League Cricket Show, and it's week 2, and we are now well and truly up and running. 18 Premier Leagues on the go. You might have seen our video the other night. We've got, what was it, 40,000, runs around the country. The weather stayed fair, and as a consequence, we've got lots of cricket on and plenty to talk about. What we're going to do every week now is we're going to highlight around about 6 leagues each week, because whilst myself and Mr. Newsom love looking at all 33, we just don't have a long enough time to be able to do that. So, as you can tell, joining me as always, Mr. Hugh Newsom. How are you doing, buddy?
Good, but I'm grumpy about the weather.
Oh God,
because
not you as well.
My daughter's first game, she's been injured for a while. First game last night. It's been glorious, hasn't it? It literally, we put our foot onto the cricket field. It absolutely tipped it down.
Yeah.
Game cancelled. 2 hours later, bright sunshine again. It's just like the only bit of rain in the entire country was directly over my daughter's cricket match last night. But she's not too bothered. She's got plenty more. But yeah, it was very frustrating. But yeah, weekend was fine. I can cope with that.
Isn't it funny that our friends at Derbyshire, where I was on analyst duty for 4 days, could have done with that rain about 2 hours earlier?
Really could have done. Yeah, they really
could have done with it as well. So.
No, good weekend. No, I've really enjoyed the start of this cricket season. It's been lovely. A couple of nice games for me. Putting our Premier League stuff aside, everyone's been dead sound. Opposition's been good. Banter's been good. It's been lovely. We've got a couple of Aussies knocking about the club, making themselves useful, which is nice. They both managed to get past Qatar and
that's all right.
And Dubai and things like that. I'm sure Matt's been dealing with a bit of that going on, haven't you? But
and in the Newsom household, who's the highest run scorer at the moment?
Well, yeah, we'll forget about that one for now. Yeah. He's always going to be better than me, isn't he? So we don't need to touch on that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Talking of run scorers, we do have Mr. Run Scorer himself as well, being nice to him this week because he's also grumpy. Mr. Matt Taaffe from Cric, how you doing, bud?
All good, all good. First double header. Hips are a bit sore.
Yeah. I was going to ask that. How was the injury from the end of last year and all that?
Yeah, it's all right. Sort of worked on it this winter, but doesn't stop me aching. Saturday was hot. It wasn't fair. Yeah. The weather wasn't fair. Saturday was hot. My neck was red raw.
Okay.
Not an ounce of sun cream.
No.
But yeah, get the burn out of the way and move on to next week.
I actually put some sun cream on this week because it's my mission for this year to be better sun-wise. And it's, it is like when I lived in Australia, I was so good with it. And you just get lazier, don't you? Because it's like, I don't need to for half the games. Then all of a sudden we all get caught out. So this year I'm Mr. Sun Cream.
Absolutely. Now, we won't talk to you about your Saturday cricket, obviously, Mr. Taaffe, because it wasn't Premier League. So, hey, not interested. But you did play national knockouts on Sunday, and I did text you, and I thought you guys had sort of 3 wickets. What's going on here? But actually, comfortable win over New Brighton.
Yeah, comfortable win. Nice way to start. I think we go to Prestwich next, so that's a bit of a niggly fixture, but sort of games you want to play in. So see how we go up there. So comfortable win, job done, and then on to the next.
Absolutely. We will touch on the national knockout, I'm sure, during this conversation today, because obviously 1 or 2 teams who we're going to talk about did play in there. But I am going to mention one game straight away, which I think is an absolute blockbuster coming up in a couple of weeks' time now. Our friends at Hoyland Swain, Ben Kohler-Cantmore's on form, to say the least. They knocked over Tickhill on Sunday in the national knockout and have built up an absolute blockbuster in the next round. T20 national winners, New Farnley, entering the national knockout for the first time ever, have Hoyland Swain visiting them in a couple of Sundays' time. All I can say is I'm a happy bunny because it's been in my diary ever since December. That's going to be a corker. I know Ben and the boys are looking forward to it because I texted him over the weekend about it as well. That's the sort of game we love in the national knockout here, isn't it?
Well, it's the one we penciled in that we assumed would happen, isn't it? And we hoped would happen, and it is happening, and it's happening early. So that, I mean, Hoyland Swain are just a powerhouse unit, aren't they? So could they, I mean, if they win that, I mean, you'd back them, wouldn't you, to go a long way?
You back them to hit a lot of runs, put it that way.
Yeah.
It's the best way to put it. And the way Ben's going about things at the moment, you sent me a text on Saturday night to say, have you seen how he's destroyed someone? I think they only had to chase 100 or something, and he did it in 8 overs. Why hang about if you don't need to?
Was it 6? Might have been 6. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm sure
day.
we'll bring up the national knockouts, as I say, during this conversation. But let's start with one of the leagues that actually got going at the weekend. the Birmingham District Premier League got going, and right at the top there, you've got to look at last year's champions, and they got off to an absolute flyer with Isaac Mohammed scoring a big 100 for Smethwick, and it was just same as last year, wasn't it, Hugh?
Yes, 399 for 7. Isaac Mohammed with 132. Deepak Khatri. He's useful, that lad, isn't he? He's all right, isn't
he? He might be one of the top all-rounders in the country in the Premier Leagues.
He's just useful. I mean, these are just names that make me happy. George Hargraves, Deepak Khatri. They're just familiar names, aren't they? But yeah, Shrewsbury, 177 all out in 33 overs, trying to chase 400 essentially. So that wasn't going to happen. Dusty Melton did his best, 1 for 71. Peter Clark 2 for 61. But yeah, not a huge amount between. The opposite of not a huge amount between the teams. There's a lot between the teams there. But yeah, Smethwick just a powerhouse unit, aren't they? And we look forward to seeing them go for the rest of the season. Jump to have a look at the Himley Nolan Dorridge game. That was interesting. We got Himley also putting up a big score, and Nolan Dorridge getting nowhere near it. So Himley 339. For 7 in their 50, and similar to Shrewsbury, 150 runs short. Nolan Dorridge, George Maddy got a few, but not a lot else. It's just, I think that just the wickets just seem to be in really good nick, don't they? I mean, with the weather being as it is, and consistently, obviously they're not used tracks. It just seems to be that we've got some very early big scores. I mean, Ombersley, Hales Owen, put up 3-2-4 as well. Hales Owen nowhere near that as well. So some lopsided games this weekend. Joel Cox 108. Tom Hinley, another familiar name there, 63. A surprisingly low strike rate for him of just over a run a ball.
Very slow.
Yeah. And Kieran Baker-Smith with 3 for 44, and Edward Bragg 3 for 69, doing their best there, but they weren't able to keep Ombersley below 300. Barton Green 229. Played Barnard's Green, the Battle of the Greens. Barnard's Green bowled out for 160, so they weren't getting close either. Aminder Bra 112 for Barton Green, and Dan Meredith 4 for 33 in reply. And then Kenilworth Wardens versus Harborne was a tight one there. Oh no, sorry, it wasn't tight. Wrong way around. Harborne 170 all out in 44, and then Kenilworth Wardens got it done with 10 overs left. Ben Blakemore and Harry Johnson both finishing not out 57-34 respectively. So yeah, a little bit of a low score game at Harborne, but yeah, plenty of runs in the Birmingham Prem. One game I've missed. So we got Dorridge Mosley. Mosley 192 all out in 47 overs, and Dorridge got it very, very comfortably. Just 4 down in 35. Ed Thompson, 81. Andrew Umeed, 89 for Mosley, but not a lot else in support.
Yeah, a couple of names I'm going to pick up along the way there as well. Sanat Ullah Khan getting some wickets there from he transferred from Cavs and Carrington over the winter, getting a couple of wickets in that game. A little bit higher in the games that you were talking about there. George Maddy with 66 for Nolan Dorridge. That's fresh from a winter in Australia, working on with the Academy for Overseas Cricketers and our friend Tom Scully. So he's come back in good form there. And Ollie Walker, with 140 for Himley, he didn't do quite as well on his Staffordshire debut the day after, by the way. But 140 off 105. I think that's one to watch this year in the Birmingham League, without a shadow. And Ollie will be joining us on the pod in a couple of weeks' time. I'm going to have a chat with him about the diary of a non-pro cricketer. These guys who are running around the country, playing Premier League on a Saturday, NWCA on a Sunday, training in between, jobs as well. They've got a tough old gig, and Ollie's going to join us to talk about that. But some cracking games there. It's some really interesting scores, as you say, some big ones and real tight ones as well there as well, Hugh.
That's it. Just to jump in, there's a name that's just been... I'm hearing a lot of at the moment, possibly my local connections, but it's Nolan Dorridge's Maris Khan, who's currently at school. He played second team cricket as a 15/16-year-old last year. He's been playing at Repton, and he hit 205 off 60 balls. Last on what day are we on? Yesterday. I've been getting some reports from my young bloke, and that was, and then he retired out on 205. He wasn't out. Strike rate of 330. He's just decimating school cricket, which is very up and down. But he's currently in 8 innings. He's hit 617 runs, 123 this season.
Wow.
Obviously, Nolan Dorridge would be keen to have him. Warwickshire will be keen to have him. Is he the Nolan Dorridge Suravanshi? Because he hits an awful long ball. There was a lot of noise about him last year, but this year he seems to have gone to a new level. I think he could be a real one to watch this year. He did Super Fours last year. Obviously, you'd assume he'll go again this year because he's still the right age. So yeah, just keep an eye out for Amaris, because I think we may have one that's going to make a lot of noise beyond Premier League cricket there.
We will keep an eye on that one, and we will clip it saying Hugh saying it's the new Suravanshi. There you go.
That's it. Yeah,
he's moved on from Thomas Rue. Now he's gone down to Amaris.
Thomas is. We've set him. Fly Thomas Rue, fly.
Yeah.
He doesn't need
set the bar,
help.
haven't we?
Yeah, that's it. It's all down to us. It's nothing to do with the individuals themselves. It's
absolutely. Hey, talking of big scores, the Ollie Walker score, by the way, was the 4th highest in the country at the weekend, and we will get to talk about 3 of the other big scores of the weekend during this conversations, because they're in leagues they've got going over the weekend, which is always a good start. But let's talk about overseas and pros who've come over with you, Mr. Taaffe. Run scorers. You've actually got some guys on the board now, haven't you, mate?
Yes, some big scores to start us off, really. They've arrived. We've still got, I think, what did I text you the other day? I think it was 41 or 51 still to come over. But yeah, we've had 10 hundreds this weekend, a handful of fifers, load of fourfers, but topping the charts was Norton in Hale, Salman Khan, 171 off 100. Backed it up with a threefer as well. So really, really good start. Perfect debut. Must be nice. And then a Indian batter who finished top 5 leading run scorer in the Ranji Trophy, Abhishek Reddy at Wem. 140 not out again off 107 balls, and backed it up with 3 for. So I think we might be seeing his name a lot this summer. A serious
fifth in the
player.
Ranji Trophy, 5th highest run scorer in the Ranji Trophy.
Yeah, if you watch his technique, it's proper old school as well, like bats on the floor. Yeah, if you want to just bit of a badger, go and have a look at his footage. But he fluent in run scoring. But yeah, then hundreds from unbeaten hundreds from Duncan Brown, 118 off 90. Sean Solier for Sleaford, 111 from him. Nazim Siddiqui for Portsmouth, 100 not out off 70. He also got, I think, 70 off 30 or 40 balls as well this weekend. So pretty decent start to life for him. Laxitha Manasingh for Port Hill, 100 against Meekins. Again, lovely start and debut for him. I don't think they got over the line. I think Meekins.
We'll come to that later. Good game.
Meekins knocked it off. So down at work, he's been threatening. But yeah, great start for the batters, really.
Absolutely. And of the guys who are still to come over, I'm guessing they're the ones for most of those southern leagues, the ones who have got another couple of weeks before they get going.
Yeah, nail on the head. Like you say, I think some go this weekend and I think some week after, aren't they?
They do, yeah. We've got 7 more leagues get started on the 2nd of May, another group on the 9th, and then eventually the last one gets going. I think it's on the 25th of May or something daft like that.
I wonder what league that is.
Yeah.
It's actually not the Northern Pyramid. It is the Northamptonshire Cricket League.
Oh, they've shifted their
that T20, I think, groupings that they've done previously.
Not a bad idea. I mean, it's not a bad idea, if you get inclement weather, but actually, with the weather being so good, that now looks like a bad idea. It's so difficult to tell, isn't it? I think everyone's trying to do the right thing, aren't they? But I always feel like these leagues need to get up and running, get people into the season, and maybe the T20 is a bit of a break in the middle rather than the other way around. But
yeah,
anyway,
most definitely.
Everyone will have a different opinion to me.
Let's talk about one of the other leagues that we know extremely well. And for those of you who live down south, I'm not going to make any. I'm not going to apologise right now, but you ain't got going, so we ain't got a lot to talk about. No. So we're going back up to the Liverpool and District League, and it was same as when it came to the champions Ormskirk at Wallasey. And actually, not only same as winning, but it was the captain who got them over the line again, Hugh.
Yeah, 73 not out off 99, very comfortable. Toby Bullock, 4 for 16 is the Sky Blue. Tom Brown, 346. Yeah, so just a very, very comfortable win.
Yeah.
What it looks like, they bowled them out in 43 overs, and Ormskirk got it in 48. They didn't need to rush, did they? Plenty of overs left. So, yeah, comfortable win for Ormskirk there. Greg Beaver got 51, and for Wallasey and John Armstrong, 53 not out for Ormskirk. Off 118 balls, just did the job. So nice start for them. Rainford got a win against Formby. Rainford 300 for 3 declared in just 52 overs, which that's a good score in the Liverpool comp, that, isn't it? Jason Loggin, he's a very consistent player, 131 off 162. He got the scores there. Nick Ritchie with 105 for Formby, but they were bowled out in 47 overs for 216. So, yeah, they weren't getting close. Jack Carney, 42 off 68 balls, and a certain Jay Loggin for 45 as well. So he's just had a good day, hasn't he?
He had a good day.
Yeah, and then Northern off and running. Bryce Jose, 71 for Northern, 235 for 5 declared, and then bowled out Rainhill for 172 in 50 overs. Robin Cohen, 60. But not a huge amount else. Tom Sefton, 5 for 18. Surprise, surprise. Cameron Swatsky, 3 for 37 for Northern. So a comfortable performance for them. Newton and Willows and Lee had a draw. I mean, considering this format, you don't see that many draws, do you? It is funny. It's everyone talks about it being like draw cricket or whatever, but it's very rare you see a draw in the Liverpool comp. It feels like that anyway. But yeah, we've got a draw. Newton and Willows 310 for 3 declared in 48, and they very nearly bowled out Lee, 231 for 9. Really good finish. They just clung on at the end there to get the draw. Luke Prescott 68 and George Brown. I'm just going to see who was batting at the end there. It was Nathan Graham and Patrick Allen. So 10 Jack having a bat there. Patrick Allen faced 3 balls, so it wasn't quite the tight finish. He had 4 balls to. He got a 1 off the penultimate ball. So yeah, it was looking fairly comfortable in the final over until that wicket at the second ball, the final over, and then I'm sure that everyone was round the bat. Would have been an interesting finish. It's a shame there's no camera on that one. Liverpool, they got a win against Bootle. Rob Rankin, 102 as well, and Harvey Rankin, 32 to help him out. They put up 234 for 7 in 55 overs, and then bowled Bootle out for just 112. Nobody really doing a huge amount for Bootle, and Matt Pearce, 4 for 35. Finn Hulbert, 3 for 21. Got the wickets there. And then Oral Red Triangle, 179 for 10 in 56 overs. That was a tough work there. And then bowled Wigan out for just 86. Ollie Wetton with 4 for 17, and Dave Bowden 3 for 21, getting the important wickets there. Good team effort from Oral Red Triangle. Top scorer Sam Healy with only 37, Matt Waring 36. Lots of people chipping in to get that score up to where it was. So yeah, it doesn't look like it was easy at Oral. Sorry, out Wigan.
No, and I think, as always, the Liverpool district, there's certain names seem to come to the top. Nice to see Finn Hulbert at Liverpool now getting wickets for Liverpool against Bootle. Robert Rankin batting with his brother there, Harvey Rankin, who's joined from Ormskirk, getting their first win in the Premier League there, Liverpool, on the back of promotion to the Premier League for the first time. I think the other one I was going to point out, Tom Sefton. We talk about death and taxes, don't we? But that wasn't just a 5 for 18. That was 5 for 18 off 17 overs. I mean, that's just measly. And you look at the run rate that they scored at Northern. They've scored at 7.5 and over there to get to 235 for 5 off 42. They've set their stall out from day one what they're going to do this year, even more so than ever before. And I think, tell me if you're hearing otherwise, Taaffe. This Cameron Swatsky sounds to be the one to watch when it comes to the speedsters there, doesn't he?
Yeah, Coley's raving about him. Not often you hear Coley raving about someone, but he's very, very impressed. So I don't think Grazie's too happy. He'll be running into the wind, and Cam will be having down the hill with the wind and all the added benefits. So he's lost Rankin, but yeah, he's very good.
And of course, just if things all go correctly in a few weeks' time, we might end up with you and Blackpool at Northern playing in the national knockout.
Touch wood.
A
Touch
few
wood.
things have got to go right in the first place, but I tell you what, that's a cracker, isn't it?
Be a good one. I hope to see you down there. But
I think it's the Father's Day one, so it might just be that I go to Northern with my dad instead of going to Ormskirk. They had us last year, but some cracking ties there. The other names that stood out, Ben Walkden, he's had a great winter down in Oz, yeah, and he's scoring another big 100 there for Newton the Willows. I think, as you said, Hugh, some of the run scoring in that league just a little bit higher than we used to, and we're going to talk now about the North Staffs and South Cheshire League, where actually, I'll never forget what our friend Chris Travers said. That's a league where you literally scored 200 and you win. Well, actually, there were some games there where the scores went quite higher than 200 in the North Staffs and South Cheshire League, mate.
Well, I'll start with Hemheath, because Hemheath put up 273 for 4, and my favourite Premier League cricketer, Liam Banks, 152. I'm just disappointed he didn't get a ton of wickets as well to go with it. But 152 from Liam Banks. He's just a player, isn't he? One of the best Premier League players in the country. They put up 273 for 4 in 45 overs, which is pretty quick going. And Stone, I mean, it was a good effort, but they weren't able to get their bowled out in 41 overs for 237. Ed Batchelor 62, Warwick Flynn 57. So it was a decent team effort from Stone. I'd probably be relatively happy with that first up. But Ben Topley and Greg Prime both with fourthers for Hemheath. Porthill also put over 200, but JG Meekins were able to chase it 7 down. Callum Wilshaw 47 and Pete Wilshaw 36. Getting a lot of brothers going at it today, which is this weekend, which is very good. Lakshitha Manasinga 100 for Porthill, and Ollie Shirley 64, but not a huge amount else for them. Tom Kestevan with 2 for 26, who I believe is the brother of Tilly Kestevan.
That's
correct?
right, Tilly Kestevan, Lancashire batter.
Audley got a very, very tight win in a more North South Cheshire League type game. Longton bowled out for 126 in 41 overs. Jack Snyman with 26 as the top scorer. So difficult game there. Ed Jones 4 for 15. Ali Hamza Wazim 3 for 9. Very, very tight bowling in 8 overs. And then he also got 87 not out for Audley, which is just the absolutely most crucial contribution in the match, because pretty much nobody else got anywhere close to 30. And that they got the job done just with. They got 128 in 41 overs with 2 wickets left. So it was a really difficult tight game and a difficult game. Yeah, not a batter's paradise over there. Checkley got the win. Leek put up 270 and probably would have been happy with that. But Chetley got there in the last over, 9 down. Bryce Parsons 115 off 76 balls, and James Kettleborough 50 from 63. Nice to see that name doing well.
Is that the same Bryce Parsons who was in the Lancashire League last year? I think played for Littleborough.
Still is.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah.
So he's sub-proing.
Yeah,
he's sub-pro and useful.
That's a good one.
And then. Great. So really, really great win for Checkley there in what was a very, very tight game. And then jumping down, Modishall got a win against Whitmore. That was a bit more comfortable. Whitmore in 45 overs, 156 for 9. And Modishall got it 3 down pretty comfortably. Joe Hawkins of Derbyshire fame with 48 off 91 balls. Muaz Ahmed with 64. And then Aziz Ahmed 3 for 26 from Modishall as well, which was a pretty crucial contribution. And then Newcastle and Hartshill, Ecclesall got 197 for 7 in 45. Mervyn Abinash 72 off 100 balls was a very, very important contribution there. And then old mate Dushan Mukti with 50 off 83 for Newcastle and Hartshill, but they weren't able to get close. It looked like it was going to be, but they finished 12 runs shy of the win there.
Yeah, I mean, great to see Dushan's name there once again coming up. I think he's got to be one of the most dominant names we've used over the last 3 years, isn't it, Mr. Vimukti, without a shadow? As you say,
it's just a great name as well, isn't it? It's a great name.
Joe Hawkins was on 12th, 13th, 14th man duty, whatever you call it, at Derbyshire as well, but was allowed to go to play for his club and obviously did well for them there this weekend, which is great. We've already said, great to see Bryce Parsons there jumping down as a sub-pro. Jack Snyman playing for Longton again. That's another name that's come out of the Lancashire League. Was that a sub-pro as far as you were, Taff?
Yeah, correct. He's still at Greenmount.
Yeah. And then we've got to go back to this now. Is Liam Banks the best non-pro player in Premier League cricket in this country?
Yes.
I've never seen him play, only seen his stats. Yes.
From a statistical point of view, and also the nature of the league. I suppose maybe the bowling is he gets more credit in the bank with the bowling because of it's a pretty difficult place to score runs. But then he counteracts that with scoring runs in one of the hardest places to score runs. So he's just a class act. And obviously we can't compare without putting these guys up against each other and so forth. But in terms of all-round contribution to a club, what a player. I mean, every club in the land would want him in their side, wouldn't they? And he would be first name on the team sheet pretty much.
And ridiculously consistent as well. The amount of times we get to mention him for one or the other, if not both. I almost need to keep a record of that through the season just to see where it stands out, because when you start mentioning these names time and time again, like Dushan, like Liam, like Manasinga, who we've mentioned time and time, they're just going to be the names that pop all the way through the year, aren't they? So let's talk about names that pop up all through the year, because I'm sure there's a couple of bowlers for you there, Taaffe, isn't there, who've taken some wickets over the weekend, mate?
Yeah, again, like you say, touched on it previously. We've had a handful of fifers, a shed ton of fourfers. So it's a shame they've not got over the line. But Mayank Mishra, I know it was last week, but we've just pulled it into this week. He started his campaign with a fifer for his new club, Wickesley Old Village. Again, just an absolute wicket-taking machine. Yeah. Speaking of another wicket-taking machine, Shafi Ghaffari, fifer of Richmondshire. Again, it's just no surprise there. We've had Hassan Damundu at Tong, fifer. Kavindu Amantha, a Sri Lankan left-arm spinner for Walkden, 6 for 22. He leads the ranks this week. But then, like you say, load of fourfers. Avishka Tharindu at Bracebridge Heath. Ankit Kalsi at Edgerton. Garnet Tar chipped in with a fourth for Baycup. And then Roshan Lakmal also in the Lancashire for Rottenstall, fourfer. Also a very good player with both bat and ball. Nice start for the bowlers as well.
The boys are at it, aren't they? That's what we want to see. So let's move on to the one league down south that has graced us with starting in April. Now, it is the second newest Premier League in the country, the Dorset Premier League. They've changed their format slightly this year because they've now got 8 teams in the Division 1. And they got themselves going in April. Now, I'm going to say this out loud, and it'll wind up everyone down south that we know. If they can do it in bloody Dorset, why can't they do it in Cornwall, in Sussex, and everywhere else, Hugh?
Well, it's also, it's warmer down south, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's a long way south. Yeah, it's a bit windier and all the rest of it. And like 2 years ago, they didn't play till July. But we'll forget that one. But yeah, no, it's nice to see games happening in April. I mean, I don't have a problem with it if there's cricket happening. So, I haven't really studied them in detail. I assume playing some friendlies and cup games and other things. So it doesn't particularly matter they're not getting going. But yeah, it's nice it's from our
friendlies are for March. Get your friendlies out the way at the end of March.
In March?
Yeah, you can't the way.
I've told you my plan, and it's all gone tits up this year with Donald Trump trying to blow up the world down there. But if we all, maybe Iran is the place we could go and play. Surely it's relatively cheap over there. We get everyone over to it. Once it's all settled and Donald Trump's, turned it into a casino or whatever he's after.
Guess what the name of this pod is?
Let's go and play in Iran.
Maybe Iran. Absolutely, we're done.
Dubai. So the Premier League just ships out to Iran as a sort of goodwill gesture to open the Strait of Hormuz. How's that? There we go. International politics.
If it gets my energy prices down, I'll say yes.
I think we're all for it, aren't we? Yeah, that's it.
Let's have a quick look at those.
Liam Banks saves the world from high energy prices.
Let's have a quick look at the Dorset League, Mr. Newsom.
Distraction. Broadston got a win. They 186 for 9. in 50 overs, and then bowled Sherborne out for 152. Jack Morgan, 39 not out, and Harry Wallace, 36. So, yeah, runs hard to come by there. We've got a player very interestingly named Sam Martin, 16, on Play Cricket. So I assume that's probably his age, and they plonked it in from a bowling record or something like that. But anyway, if he is 16, congratulations, you got 30 out of 52 in the Premier League this weekend. Joe Arkwright for Sherborne.
And he took 3 for 35, so he's our new favourite, Sam Martin, 16.
Yeah. Sam Martin, 16, that's it. So hopefully that's his nickname forevermore. 3 for 35 and 3 for 26 for Paul Vate. Wimborne got the win. Poole bowled out in 31 overs for 111. Nelson struck very badly for them. Ollie Thorne, 31, was a top scorer. Connor Holdsworth, 4 for 14, and Simon Watkins, 3 for 11 off just 4 overs, did the damage. And then Wimborne, with Luke Webb, 69 not out. He was a top scorer there. Errol Anderson, 8 not out. They got it in 31 overs, just 2 down, so pretty comfortable.
That's Luke Webb's debut for Wimborne, having moved during the win to the Dorset captain.
There we go. And Chalk Valley, who I think, are they new to the league? I don't remember.
They're one of the new ones,
last week. Yeah. Bear Regis, Chalk Valley got the win. Bear Regis, 119 all out. Sam Goodhue, Tim Goodhue, possibly related to Duncan Goodhue. Show my age there, aren't I? They got the runs for Bear Regis, but Chalk Valley got it. They got 119 all out in 44. Chalk Valley, 121 for 2. Very similar to the Wimborne scorecard, indeed. Joe Weld, 58 off 48, not out. Matt Watson, 47. And Matt Randall, 1 for 10, was the best for Bear Regis in that. Joshua Goodchild got 4 for 29 for Chalk Valley, so that was an important contribution to get the win there. And then Martinstown,
they're the other new team in the top division.
That's right, and they an important win and an important start for them. 202 for 10, which I believe was the top score in the league at the weekend. Ed Nichols, 82 off 97. Sean Williams, 40 off 42. Dan Beltwood, 5 for 35 for Dorchester. And then Dorchester were bowled out in 40 overs, so they were going well, but 20 runs shy and 10 overs short. Jamie Barrett, 58 off 63 balls, was the best for them, but Demario Solcombe, 4 for 39, and Jordan Geraghty, 3 for 46 for Martinstown. Got the win there.
Absolutely. And talking of new teams into Premier Leagues, I like my stats as I look around on a Saturday and Sunday, Hugh. The biggest chase of the weekend went against one of the new sides in the East Anglia League. As always, East Anglia League full of runs. Ramsey, who got their Premier League campaign off to a win last weekend, they were down at Copdock and Old Ipswichian. They scored 293 for 7 on Saturday, and they must have thought we're in a decent place there. Until Copdock and Old Ipswichian debutant, and here we go with one of those great names, Mihali Mpongwana, I think that's right, Mihali Mpongwana, scored 147 not out on debut off 98 balls for the biggest chase of the weekend down in the East Anglia. Classic East Anglia game down in 293 and you get beaten.
A great
Absolute corker. Absolutely. Hey, let's go and talk about a league that's, shall we say, a little bit older than the Dorset League. Now, I've put one of those stats out there. Let's go all the way up north to one of our favourite leagues from the last couple of years, the Yorkshire Premier League North, where there's lots of names that come up week in, week out that we recognise. As always, some cracking games to start the season, some very familiar names. And we'll start at the very top there, Hugh. Our friends at Woodhouse Grange, they got themselves off to a great start with a win against York, one of the leading sides up there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, York, I don't know, I didn't sort of have a detailed look at the state of the game, but you're 203 for 8, you're in the game there, aren't you? But possibly a few short, and it proved to be. Dan Skipworth for York got 81, but he didn't get a huge amount of help. Ryan Thompson, 3 for 33, and Tom Neal, 2 for 25, but both miserly bowling there. And then Woodhouse Grange got it done with 5 wickets in the bag and 2 and a bit over, so it's a relatively comfortable win in the end. Chris Bilton, 57 off 71, and Joe Hall, 49 not out at a run of ball were the important contributions there.
Yeah.
Harrogate got a win over Driffield as well. Driffield, 255 all out in 48, and Harrogate got it with 2 overs left, 3 wickets in the bag. Isaac Light 71 off 68 balls, and Hector Hamill 62 with the big contributions there. Elliot Hatton 70. Kumal Naniakara 4 for 55 for Harrogate. Got the win there. That's a really, really good start for Harrogate. Interesting to see how they go. Clifton Alliance, Holzingari. Clifton 250 for 9 in 50 overs. Ed Wade 87. Holzingari nowhere close, bowled out for 141 in 42 overs. Tom Brown 4 for 30. Sam Grant 4 for 50 with the major contributions. Kieran Gray got 4 for 50 for Holzingari. And then Knaresborough got the win against Beverley Town. Knaresborough came up last season, didn't they? Stayed in the league and off to a great start here. 235 for 4 in 50 overs. William Wade 103 off 137 balls, and Luke Riley 83 with the main contributors there. Jamie Rowe 3 for 66 in 10 overs, and then Beverley bowled out for 112 in just 30 overs. Not a huge number of people troubling the scorers. John T. Morehouse 4 for 27, so a really good start from them. Stamford Bridge, Sheriff Hutton Bridge, the Battle of the Bridges, the Battle of Stamford Bridge all over again. Well, it wasn't at Stamford. Yes, it was at Stamford. There we go. The Battle of Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, but it wasn't much of a battle when you look at the scorecard.
Yeah. A few at Vikings. And Sheriff Hutton Bridge, 204 for 10 in 48 overs, so all out there. Matt Fisher, 52, was the main run contributed there. Freddie Collins, 3 for 58, but Stamford Bridge flattened like the Vikings were, and they bowled out for 91 in just 22 overs. Joseph Hewitt, 29, top scoring, but not much else. Will Benniston in 5 overs, 3 for 16. Mark Fisher, 5 overs, 3 for 17, doing the damage there. Must have been some run-outs, were there? We got a few run-outs. We got a run out. There we go. We got a nice run out, and Connor Hyde got a few as well. So do enjoy a good run out. And then Castleford 260 all out in 49 overs, and then Carlton Towers, who are new to the league this season, 135 all out in 36 overs. A tough start for them. But Henry Baston 65. He'll be pleased with that. But Dave Wainwright, surprise, 4 for 16. Ed Morrison 3 for 31.
Absolutely. The other name to pick out from that Castleford game there, they're overseas, Hayden Walsh Jr. He's come over with a big reputation, 79 off 61, 1 for 15 off 4.5 overs as well. All I'll say is dead simple. Coulson, get him on the phone. We want him on the pod. Overseas the crease. We want to talk to Hayden. International cricketer, playing at Cass. And I think that could be one of those all-rounders to keep an eye on throughout the season, most definitely. As you say, there's been quite a lot of movement around the Yorkshire North League over the winter. So it's good to see Connor Hyde getting some runs there. Jack Redshaw taking wickets for Driffield. Some things don't change again. But yeah, I've got this funny feeling. I have a funny feeling Castleford might run away with it this year. Now, they just seem to put together good teams and good squads rather than just having superstars. And that could be a really interesting one. And, shoot me down at the end of the season if I've got that wrong. And Colson will kill me for saying that out loud, I'm sure. But they've actually got a really good bunch there going together. I think the other game that I want to look at very briefly, though, and unfortunately I'm going to jump to a league that we're not going to talk about otherwise, is possibly the best finish of the weekend was at New Farnley, where New Farnley, having scored 273 for 8 in the Bradford League and having been unbeaten for 30-odd games in the league last season, the year before, everything else, wherever, long time, they got overturned by Bradford and Bingley with 15 runs coming off the last over. Fletcher Coots bowling the last over, and Bradford and Bingley won on the last ball of the game with a 4 from James Swallow. Let's be honest, Hugh, one of the surprises of the weekend to see New Farnley getting beat. But last ball, what an incredible chase that was for them.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that just sets the Bradford League open from day one, doesn't it? That's on day 2, on week 2, whatever we're on. Yeah, I mean, that's a really, really great start for the Bradford League all round. Obviously not quite so good for New Farnley, but exciting times. Maybe we see a changing of the guard.
Yeah, and I was obviously working at the weekend and keeping an eye on scores where I could. And when I saw that they were 66 for 2 and then Aidan Langley and Ryan McKendry come together at New Farnley and they then put on a 100 partnership, I thought, here we go. This is going to be classic New Farnley running away with it. Not the case. Well done, Bradford and Bingley. You have definitely started the season off nicely there by getting that ticking over and getting New Farnley on the back foot. But they will now be preparing, as we said earlier in the pod, for Hoyland Swain in a few weeks' time when it comes to the national knockout. In terms of national knockout, going back to Yorkshire North as well, the other big weekend winner there for me was Castleford beating Sheffield Collegiate. Sheffield Collegiate on the Saturday had a great win over Cleethorpes, had demolished Cleethorpes on the Saturday. But on the Sunday, Sheffield Collegiate bowled out for 102, just chasing 200 of Castleford. That's two big names really going head-to-head early doors, that one. And you know, I think if you look at the highlights of that one, pretty sure there that Josh Wood, 47, Scott Hopkinson, 34, but Hayden Walsh Jr. taking a couple of wickets and Owen Smith, 4 more wickets for Cass. So again, teams have built squads, it appears, during the winter, not just 11. And they're all looking to play really well in these big cup competitions on a Sunday, which we'll enjoy following, Mr. Newsom, definitely.
That's right, yeah. And the one close to us, Spondon Cuckney, which seems to have happened virtually every year for the last 3 years. And Spondon got the win this time. It's been a while, I think, since they got one over Cuckney. But yeah, Ben Wright coming down from Farsley. It was Farsley, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Ben Wright coming down from Farsley. And with 161 off 106 balls, 9 sixes, the highest score in the ECB National Club Championship this weekend to get the win. There's also, I mean, totally irrelevant, but I was keeping an eye on some people I know in Spondon's team looking for a young lad. I just went through a few of the videos. Tell you what, there's a shocking LBW decision in one of these games. I won't mention it. I'm not one to pick on umpires, but geez, so somebody's having a bad Saturday night with one of the LBWs I saw from one of the Spondon games this weekend. But we'll leave it at that and not discuss
guess what we're all doing straight after this show. So that's some of the highlights from the national knockout. And obviously, we're going to talk more about the national knockout as we go through the rounds. I hate to say it, but there's almost too much to talk about right now. You're talking another 100 games, and we've got enough on the Saturdays with the Premier Leagues to talk about. But let's get to that final league that we've not talked about yet, which is the Lincolnshire Premier League. As we know, one of the highest scoring leagues in the country, always has been up there with the East Anglia League. They got up and running. They're down to 10 teams this year, so there's just 5 games in that league. And one of our friends, Avishka Tarindu, scored some runs and taken some wickets, I believe, as always. But what else have you seen there, Hugh?
Avishka Tarindu, 39 off 66 for Bracebridge Heath, but Grimsby got the win. Bracebridge Heath bowled out for 143. And Grimsby got it with 3 wickets remaining. Hayden Tice, 46, was the main contributor there. That was a tight win, really. They got it in 31 overs, but yeah, it's been looked like it was difficult to score at Bracebridge. Just going from the top, Bourne beat Lindham. Bourne 159 for 2 in just 24 overs, chasing down 156 from Lindham. Dan Cleveland got 51 and Henry Wild 47 for Lindham, but nobody else did a lot. Ben Woodward, 81 not out, just 69 balls, was top scored for Bourne there. Jack Berry, 3 for 27 for Bourne as well. I'll mention Tom Pratchett as well, 3 for 34, because they'll argue. Sleaford beat Woodall Spa. Sleaford got Woodall Spa's total of 253. They got it in 48.5 overs. Sean Sollier, 111 off 120 balls. And George Woods, 58. Top scorers there for Sleaford. Ollie Caswell, 75 off 92 balls. But yeah, a really, really good start for Sleaford. Scunthorpe got the win in what was a very, very tight game at Grantham. Grantham batting first, 123 all out of 29 overs. Rampandi, 33, was the top scorer. And George Drury, 4 for 41 in his 10. Sam Jarvis, 3 for 29. Kept a very low total there. And then Scunthorpe got it with in 38 overs, but with 1 wicket remaining. Top scorer of Dhruv Dhruv Chowdhury, 28 off 49 was the top scorer. Nauman Abid, 4 for 29, and Rampandi, 3 for 19. He had a good day in what was very difficult circumstances, but they got there, squeaked over the line to get the win for Scunthorpe. Burley Park, 243 for 7 in 50 overs. Bowled out Spalding for 150 in 38 overs. Ewan Williams, 44 not out. Off just 31 balls was the main contributor there. James Loud, 4 for 22 for Burley Park as well. So he did well with the ball. And then Grimsby, Bracebridge East was the game that I mentioned a minute ago. So a really good weekend in the Lincolnshire Prem, but a few lower scores than were expected at this time of year.
Absolutely. Well, we're up and running with 18 leagues now. We've got the ECB National Knockout is into its first round proper in a couple of weeks' time, having gone through preliminary round 1 and preliminary round 2. This weekend we've got the Cornwall League, the Devon League, North Wales, South Wales, Northern Prem, and Southern Prem, and West of England League, all getting going with league games. Mr. Taaffe, you have your first league game coming up.
Yeah, it's a repeat of 2 weeks ago. We got Leyland at their spot, albeit so not a bad ground to play at a good side. So see how we get on.
Yeah, and we're then into that last stream of games the last stream of leagues that go in on the 9th of May, as we said earlier. But it's almost at that point now, Hugh, where it is utter chaos. Almost getting to that point where there's so many things to talk about that we could almost do 3 or 4 shows a week if we wanted to go into the depth of these things, couldn't we?
Yeah, there's loads going on, and it's worth mentioning a few of the big scores if we switch into that before we forget them. Just the overall Premier League top scorers: Ben Walkden, 163 for Newton the Willows. That was the top scorer in the weekend. Liam Banks, we mentioned him with his 152. Mihaly Mapungwana for Copdock against Ramsey. That's the 147 not. He's third top scorer. Ollie Walker for Himley with his 140. He was fourth, and Isaac Mohammed for Smethwick with his 132. Those are the top scorer. Jason Loggins down there, Liam Dravaskis as well. Seamus Deploy, Bryce Parsons, Abdul Fassi as well, round out the top 10. So there's plenty of hundreds. We got how did you get? 40,000 runs scored, 31 centuries, 116.5 centuries, 28 fifers. We've got an equal balance between fifers and centuries pretty much. Jumping onto the wickets, Jamie Carrington for Collegiate, 7 for 10.
That's bowling Cleethorpes out for 99, I think it was. That's
right, and in just 5.3 overs. It's a pretty decent effort there. Joe Norbury, 7 for 35 for Whiston Paris against Wickley Old Village in the Yorkshire Southern Prem. John Richardson for Prestwich in the GMCL against Royton, 6 for 37 off 15.
Prestwich, you've played Blackpool in the next round of National Knockout.
There we go. That'll be exciting. And Ikmala Naziri for Cawthorne against Donny, 6 for 51 in the Yorkshire Prem South. And Stephen Brown for Moorlands, 6 for 52 against Murfield Parish Cavaliers in the Huddersfield Prem. Rounds out the top 5, but there's a few more. Tom Seftons there with his 5 for Josh Porter. And Atik Dungaria for Clipston against Colin with 5 for 14 off just 6 overs as well. So plenty of wickets, plenty of runs.
Thanks for those top wicket takers, Hugh. And now, as we come towards the end of the show, I can't not mention someone. So, as you guys will all know, one of our clubs that we've followed and worked with for a couple of years now is our friends down at Hornchurch, who made their entry into the National Knockout and played Bedford Park at the weekend. And who rocks up with a 7 for 44, but not only the postman, because he always delivers, Mr. Mark Whitlock, 7 for 44, including taking the last 3 wickets of Bedford Park on a hat-trick. And it's available on video. Mark, congratulations, mate. I haven't checked whether that's up there in your best figures ever, but hat-trick in the National Knockout, Hornchurch up and running. I think it was our friend George Hankins with 60-odd off bugger all as well, got them through there. Fabulous performance by Hornchurch to get through. Obviously a tough group down there always when they've obviously got the likes of Wanstead and Brentwood are down in that patch, and I can't remember who they come up against. But you start the season off with a hat-trick. Can't get any better than that, really, can it, Hugh?
Well, Mark Whitlock, I mean, the legend that it is. I mean, if we're looking for a new Prime Minister, I think there's your man.
Mark Whitlock for Prime Minister.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
I can already see
he would have sacked Mandelson. He wouldn't have picked Mandelson, would he? What a legend.
I can see Paul Murray Jr. saying, "What about me now?" That's the problem. Or he could be Chancellor, I suppose, couldn't he?
That's
Be
it.
about right. Hey, joking apart, it's there. We've got plenty on the go. NWCA got going on Sunday as well with the trophy. I don't think, Hugh, across Saturday and Sunday, there was a single game cancelled for weather.
Look at that. Look at that. I should hope not. No, it's cricket season. Why would there be?
Absolutely. Obviously, now that the Northern Prem's getting going next weekend, things will all change.
It will change, yeah.
We'll start and get some weather.
Carlisle calling in to offer their opinion on the weather, yeah.
Yeah, as long as they don't have to go on the motorway with any dodgy tyres and things, as always with Mr. Taaffe. So, hey, thanks a lot, boys. Plenty to look forward to. Busy weekend ahead coming up with another 7 leagues, as we said. And we'll be talking about those 7 leagues next week. Don't forget to follow us on all our socials. And if you're not already subscribed to the pod on your podcast player or YouTube, make sure you subscribe and you get it come through. And you get to see Hugh with his hat on week in, week out. Taaffe pulling faces when he knows that he's obviously got to be careful what he says about 1 or 2 things. And me just trying to take the piss out of everybody. Thanks, boys.
Cheers, gents.
Cheers, go well.